Alright, so we're going to do some finishing touches on our program. If we come over to our list, we want to program the explosions. Remember, when something exploded, it would kind of drift down, and when it got to the end of the screen, it would go away. But we want it to go away a little bit quicker. We're also going to look at how we can spawn our enemies. Once we destroy them now, they don't do anything. And there's a couple other finishing touches that we'll look at, and then you guys will be on your own to kind of make it your own from there. Okay, so first of all, let's go back to our room. We're going to take away our current objects here. We don't need these guys because we're going to spawn all of our enemies. We're going to start with nothing on the table here. Okay, so let's go back and create a main controller. Okay, and this is not going to have any sprite. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add our create event. And on our create event, we're going to spawn an object. And this is going to be our meteorite object. And our location is going to be similar to what we've been doing, our random room width. And our Y, we want this to be above our screen. So we're going to do -70 for that. So again, any room width, but -70 for our Y so that it starts just out of our screen range. Okay. Then we're going to also use a timer here. So let's go back to set our timer. And remember, one step is, or 30 steps for every second in what we're using here. So let's say every, let's just go about every 400, we're going to start spawning new objects. And we can play around with this number there. So at every 400, we're going to set an alarm to have that go off. Okay, now let's add our alarm event. So when the alarm event, so add an alarm event for alarm 0. And when alarm 0 goes off, the first thing we're going to do, let's just reset the alarm. And go back to create another instance of our meteorite. And again, same random, so room width for X. And our Y will do -70 again. Okay. Okay, so let's go take a look. We need to go put our main controller someplace in our room. If we put more than one in, it'll just give us more enemies, and that's okay if we want to, if we find this to be too easy. Let's go try it out. And I don't seem to have a second guy coming. Okay, so I don't have a second guy coming, mainly because my alarm was just too big. So let's move this down to something like 180. And same thing here, let's just set that to 180. And we'll give that a go. And now that should be about every 6 seconds we should be seeing a new meteorite create. And there's our new meteorite, and that's going to get to the edge, so let's go back and put it there. Now notice our explosion continues, and you also notice that when our bullet hits a planet, or it hits the meteorite, it continues through as well. And so we're going to adjust a few things along those lines. So let's go back into our meteorite object, and we can take care of our bullet first. So when the bullet hits, we change the object there, and we destroy the instance, but we actually don't need to destroy the instance because it's been changed. So let's click that over to destroy self, or destroy other, and that should destroy our bullet. And now let's go look at our explosions. In our explosion, we just have to add a event other, and this would be animation end, and once the animation ends, we want to destroy instance. And we're going to do that for both of our explosions. When animation ends, destroy instance. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. Okay, so I'm not going to get to that guy. And not going to get to him either. Let's see here. So now my explosion goes and destroys it. And let's check my bullet. And now my bullet goes away as well. So it looks good. Okay. Alright, so like I said, we're going to keep two of these guys different because when we have this collision with, when we have a collision with our main object, we destroy the instance of, we actually don't even need that. What we're going to do is change to the explosion, play sound. We're going to then also wait for 1 second, so 1,000 milliseconds, and then show our high score and restart the game. Okay. We can also add some other things. So let's say we want to add a different sprite. So let's go back to add a new sprite. Oh, hold on. Let's load a spaceship. So now we're going to go over to our space again. And let's say we're going to add the UFO. Remove the background. Okay. I can come into my main controller. And at the start, I am going to essentially copy this and paste it. So I'm going to create an object. Actually, hold on. Before I can do that, I need to create my object. And if I don't want to create, I actually want to delete, or copy rather. So I'm going to take my meteorite object and duplicate it. And I'm going to call this UFO object with all of the same characteristics, except the sprite is going to be my UFO sprite. And then I'm going to come into my main controller and create an instance of the UFO object. When the alarm goes off, I'm going to do the same thing. Copy that and then paste it. And create another instance of my UFO object. I should have all the same properties, so in theory everything should work. Let's test it out. There, I have two objects now. Okay, now I can't get to a lot of my guys, so again, if I get hit, my game over works, and then I restart. Okay, so now one of the things, I can't quite get to a lot of my objects, so I may want to speed my player up. I can just come over to moving my left and right positions to say jump 6, -6 for left, and +6 for right, things like that. Now from here, you're going to have a chance to make it your own. So things that you can do, you can add a score. You can look at adding different objects. You can also say that when the meteorite gets destroyed, that instance gets regenerated as opposed to just totally destroying it. So I can create a new instance of the object every time I destroy one. Doing that will allow me to get more and more objects as the game goes on, and it will speed everything up. So a lot of different things that you can do, so take your time and make it your own. Thanks.